Welcome to Mission Possible, delivering cleaner fuel today, brought to you by CEMA, Connecticut Energy Marketers Association, representing 600 family-run home heating fuel companies in Connecticut and the greater New England region. Today's episode was recorded live from the Southern New England Energy Conference in Newport, Rhode Island, and highlights how our members are delivering a cleaner, greener fuel today.
Hi, I'm Sam Gault from Gault Family Companies in Westport, Connecticut. So happy to be here with you today, Shelly.
Welcome to the program, Sam.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to have you. So how's it feel being here at this energy conference?
It's great. I mean, it's a lot of excitement at the energy conference today. We were a speaker earlier about empowering, through culture and development and training and development was fantastic. So, and what we were doing was trying to tell people how we were going to perform better by doing such. So it was good. It was, but it was a lot of great questions in the room. It was a really wonderful session. So we just came off the luncheon special, which was really nice. The speaker, all about the electric. So it's been a really fun day.
Yeah, it seems it. So let's talk about your business and your history. I find that the history of our members is pretty fascinating. So tell me a little bit about yours.
Yeah, ours is pretty fascinating. So I am the fifth generation, and we have 6 generations in the business now.
Fifth.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. We were way back in 1863. My great-great-grandfather came from Northern Ireland and decided to start the business then, but he went to the Erie Canal, worked on that, came back and started the farming business, and that's how we got into the business at the beginning. Then it became coal, and it evolved to the heating fuels, and today we're sort of a fully diversified energy business that does heating, propane, generators, HVAC. So it's a really diverse business, and we're also in the stone business. We're also in the real estate development business. So we have 3 legs of the stool in our business, and but it's always been great, and it's always been a situation where we've always listened to our customer, and our customer has sort of driven us into a lot of different diversifications within the energy business. So it's not like we went into the propane business, but our customers wanted us to be in the propane business. They wanted us to be in the generator installation and service business. So it's been interesting to listen to our customers and continue to evolve to meet sort of the ever-changing needs of the people in the marketplace. So it's been great.
When you talk about your great-great-great-grandfather, is that it who started the business?
That's
From Ireland? I just found out I'm 1% Irish. I did not know that. I thought I was mostly Norwegian. But you talk about your great-great-grandfather starting this business and just how different it was. That's a long time ago, how we are today. You talked about diversifying your product.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that. Did your customers say, hey, we want a greener product? How did that come about?
Yeah, the customers really, we were very focused on the customer, always have been. And when the customer found out that we were always the guys during storms and other things that were answering the phone, they were like, why are you not in the generator business? Why are you not in the propane business? And, that's how we got into these different businesses. But, yeah, what's really wonderful about this industry is that it continues, just like we feel it continues to evolve, and that's happening right now, moving from heating oil to ultra-low sulfur diesel heating oil, as well as, bioheat and all those things. As we continue to evolve, the industry evolves. So it's really exciting.
And it's evolving with the product that you're delivering on the liquid fuel side. It's not the same that your great-great-grandfather, well, that was coal. But the heating oil of decades ago is not what we have today. And there's a lot of misinformation about that, or misconception. People have this image of the home heating oil dealer or the fuel, and it's not accurate. Paint an accurate description for us. What is the fuel you're delivering today?
I mean, we are delivering a part of the fuel is renewable. Okay, we're delivering a very clean fuel, cleaner than it's ever been. I always like to tell our customers that the fuel you are getting, okay, in your heating system, in your tank, in your heating systems, is the same fuel pretty much that is going into every 18-wheeler that goes up and down the highway every day. It's a 15 part per million sulfur content. It's a very low sulfur content. It's a super clean fuel, and with the fact that we put additive into that fuel, It even makes it more clean burning, and it makes it burn better for your system. So
And the additive is the biodiesel, the renewable
the
biodiesel.
renewable component is so that it's really like as it relates to the green components of our fuel that we deliver now, it is really way different than it was obviously way back when in even like 15 years ago, where the sulfur content in fuel was a lot higher back then and without any biocomponent in it. So we are really have come a long way. And it's just another reason why we need to be at the table, okay, as part of the solution to a greener energy solution.
And at the table, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, like as it relates to, the government, okay, and, thinking that we're a sort of like a fuel of the past. We're really a fuel of the present, and the future, because that's really going to be something that we should be part of that. We should not just throw all our eggs in one basket like, a lot of the governments want to do, whether it's state government or federal government that wants to electrify everything. That's not really a viable solution. We're not against electrifying some things, but we're also want to make sure that bioheat is a part of the solution. It's a diversified strategy for a greener future.
Right. And I think people in Connecticut at least have to understand electricity, it's sold as a clean energy source, but you have to look at what's fueling the electric grid. And on any given day, 60% is natural gas. So the idea that electricity is clean, it's not. We're not there yet. But based on what I understand, our home heating fuel is better for the environment than natural gas. So yeah, I mean, we're not just saying we want to be included, we're saying it's best if we are included. And by constantly talking about or promoting ourselves more, listen, our fuel's different. It's not what you think it is. It helps us, but it really helps our customers and it helps the environment. And it's an important story to tell. Is it one, when you talk about it, are people surprised at first?
Yeah, they are surprised because they do, the heating oil industry gets stereotyped as a, potentially like, dirty type of fuel, which it definitely is not. It's an up and coming clean fuel from an emission standpoint. Obviously, at 7 to 10% bio out of a B7 to B10, we are a cleaner fuel from an emission standpoint, than even natural gas. And the best part about our fuel is that we can continue to add more bio to that composition, whereas natural gas, you cannot do that.
No.
And that's a real advantage as we go forward and we continue, get to 2030 and then get to 2050, we'll continue to be a cleaner and cleaner alternative. That should be, a very viable alternative for consumers that want a greener future. Exactly.
And, just to reiterate, the B7, B5, B20, that's a percentage of biodiesel that's mixed in with their fuel. I can't remember if I said that. So it's important to get our story out there and how our business has changed, is changing, and is evolving in the future. And at one point, I believe we're going to be a B50 blend by law, which we supported.
Yes.
We wanted this law.
Correct.
Right. So we're behind the effort to go green. And it's important that our customers and state lawmakers and those in Hartford understand this. So yeah, that is part of the conversation. But also the more we talk about our fuel and how we have changed, it's beneficial to everybody.
I think you hit that right in the head because it's going to take a grassroots effort, and having all companies like ourselves making sure that our customers understand what we're delivering them and the benefits of that. That's going to be critical because lawmakers are going to be listening to consumers, okay, and they're not going to be listening to us as dealers. The consumer has to be able to tell everybody, what kind of fuel that they're actually putting into their homes and what they want to put into their homes.
Well, and I think you hit that too, Sam, is a lot of people don't understand 50% of the people in Connecticut use home heating oil. So if you're one of those people and you're listening right now, you have this fuel in your tank. Here's why people don't know. When is it, if you want to upgrade to electricity, heating system, well, that's going to cost you. This is the one example where you didn't cut a check to get this. You're paying for the fuel, but you can use the same equipment you have. And I think that's probably why a lot of people don't realize they have this biofuel in their tank. I know a lot of people that have home heating oil as their heat source, and they don't understand. I'm constantly educating. They're like, well, wait, how do I have this? It didn't cost me any more money. right? So they don't have that in their head thinking, oh, what's this going to cost? What's it going to cost? No, it doesn't cost you anything. You do not have to upgrade your system to make this fuel work.
Right. There's no upgrading of the system whatsoever. And, the fallacy a little bit is like, some of our competition, whether it's either, the utilities in terms of, converting over to electric heat pumps or putting in natural gas systems. I mean, those are costly, expenses for a homeowner to change out their system, let alone, on the natural gas side, if the natural gas pipeline is not, basically near them in their house, they have to, they have to get it there, and then they have to run it in from the road into their home. So those are all additional expenses that, that people have to take into consideration. And the payback on those things are not really viable when, like you said earlier, you can go bio, get greener and greener, and will get greener as the future goes on without any upgrade to your system whatsoever.
Right. And the bottom line matters. If you're in a tight budget, I think sometimes those in Hartford forget that. They forget how the average person lives. I think we saw that a lot this summer.
Yep.
When people open their electric bill.
Absolutely.
And nothing's for free, folks. So green initiatives and that Millstone nuclear power deal, I mean, that added to the charge. Turning off the moratorium on whether or not the utilities could turn off, electricity, that also added to the charge.
Mm-hmm.
So with green initiatives moving forward, whether it's wind farms in the ocean, like nobody knows what this is going to cost, and that's kind of scary. So what happens if the choice is one choice? What happens if the utilities are the only game in town? Like, there's no way we can let that happen, because I don't know how I would be able to pay my electric bill then. They're saying with the current deal, what it would cost for the wind power would double. Mm. Double the cost of it.
Yeah, it's just not realistic, and the fact that there's no competition, is really troublesome. The fact that you're held hostage to a utility that's going to basically tell you what they're going to charge you, and then on top of that, you have all kinds of situations where when they go to the regulatory boards for price increases, and you find out why those price increases are being sought after. A lot of it has to do with that they can't collect their bills. And they can't collect the money from their consumers, from their customers, and that we would never be able to do that, on the heating oil side. That would be on the company if they can't do that. So that's just one example. But I mean, this is how prices go up so dramatically.
Right. So it was good. It was a good wake up call for those in Hartford. Let's hope they don't forget it anytime soon.
Absolutely.
So we talked about. I mean, I guess that's one of the concerns, right? Is the constant battle to electrify the economy. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about electrify the economy, here's what we mean, folks. I mean, there are some in Hartford who want you to drive an EV, add that to the grid. They want you to heat with electric heat. They want your stove to be electric heat. They want your water tank to be electric heat, right? So that's what we mean by electrifying the economy. And it's not just your home, it's businesses, it's this and that. We're saying it's not practical. The grid can't support it. What will it cost? And one choice is no choice. So we have talked about those concerns. Are there any other concerns you want to talk about the industry as a whole, or would you say that's pretty much top of mind?
I mean, that's, I think, top of mind. I mean, that's what CEMA as an organization and NEFI as an organization are, either battling on the state level or on the national level. But, I think, we've seen this game plan before in the state of Connecticut, with previous leadership wanting to put 300,000 miles of natural gas lines in, and that was they were putting all their eggs in one basket, and that was the natural gas, industry. Now they figured out 2 or 3 years or 4 years later that obviously wasn't a good plan. So you don't hear anything about that anymore. And now the next new plan is electrification. We all, just like you just said, we don't think that's a good idea, not a good plan. So, it just needs to be, we just need to get the message to legislators that it needs to be a balanced approach, and that's a little bit about the correlation between that and the way we run our business, okay, is that we're pretty much, in a situation where we want to own the home from the system standpoint. And what does that mean? That means we want you to think of Gault as their provider. So if you have, if you heat with heating oil, you heat with propane, you heat with natural gas, or you heat with electricity, we want to be the company that takes care of your systems, and that's how we've actually sort of continue to evolve as an organization to figure out like, how we're going to take care of customers, in the long term, and I think, having a mix of all of that is really good for our company, because it makes our technicians that much more well-rounded. They know how to work on all types of systems. They know how to install all types of systems, because we're in electricity repair. We're also in generator installation repair and heating and air conditioning, installation.
And CEMA stands for Connecticut Energy Marketers Association. We promote and defend our industry. We have 600 home heating fuel companies under our umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that is our purpose, is to promote how the industry has changed. And yeah, I remember 10, 15 years ago where natural gas was the end all be all. And then, nope, don't like natural gas. But at what point did that also impact ratepayers? They're paying more. Those new people who signed up for natural gas, that's in the PURE documents, look it up. You want to see how much you're paying for natural gas because of state policies. Sometimes state policies don't always work out right. And I think we saw that this summer. So yes, we need many people. We need fuel diversity.
Mm-hmm.
And back to the CEMA statement is our members, no one installs more electric heat pumps than our members. So by no means are we against electric heat pumps. We're just saying, let people have a choice. Let them decide what works for you. We don't want the government picking losers and winners in the energy market. And we've seen how that, we've seen that movie.
Yep.
We know how it ends.
We know how that ends, and you said it exactly right. The government should not be, picking winners and losers for us. Let the consumer decide what is best, and have companies like ourselves who are very well versed to be able to take care of whatever that consumer wants as it relates to repair, maintenance, and installation.
So Sam, wrapping up the interview, I'd like to give you an opportunity to talk about some of those customers, because what I've learned from speaking to our CEMA members is just really the close connection that our companies have with the community and the people that they serve. So, I've heard a lot of personal stories how our guys go out of the way to help people, and how a lot of times if your furnace is out in the middle of the night, you're the first call people make. So tell me first what your customers mean to you, and are there any stories that come to mind that you'd like to share?
Yeah, we've been doing this for so long, and I really, our customers mean everything to us. We're very, very customer centric. It's so important that that when the customer calls, we jump, and it doesn't matter, what time of day or night it is. That's really what we're all about: 24/7 service, and we're set up, we're structured in that way, and there's numerous times where we go above and beyond for our customers, and obviously in the middle of the night we get a number of fantastic reviews that come in. Usually 17 to 20 reviews are coming back on our internal surveys pretty much every day that we sit and go over and make sure that they're all good. If they're not, then we'll go and hit them and talk to those people directly the same day. So that's how focused we are on the customer. But there's also just things that we do, okay, that are sort of above and beyond. I do remember last year we got this amazing email from a customer that had broken down on 95, and their tire was flat, and one of our guys decided, just to pull over and help. Actually, jacks the car up, changes the tire for the woman, and off she went on her way. She was could not believe that a Gault guy just randomly stopped over on 95 in a traffic jam to help her out. So that's the kind of people that not only our company, but the industry has working in this industry that go above and beyond for customers, and I just don't think that you get that type of service or that type of culture, if our industry was not here and we were all buying from a utility, where I don't think the customer never really feels like it comes first when I'm buying my electricity.
Well, from what I hear is the customers really trust you. And man, talk about someone going out of his way to help someone. And I've been in that situation where my car breaks down. It's frightening. So to have that help, I kind of have chills listening to that. On 95, yeah. Mine was in Bridgeport. It was pretty scary. Next time I know who to call. And I've heard from other people too. One guy picks up a loaf of bread from his elderly woman. Another guy shoveled the driveway because he knew she had a wheelchair and wouldn't be able to get out, above and beyond, over and over and over. And, without naming names, I don't think you're going to get that from a big utility.
No.
I think a lot of times it's not my problem. And not even the utility. I think people in general, not my problem. That's the world we live in today. So when we hear stories like that, wow, those are stories that need to be told more. And next time I want you to call me when that happens.
Exactly.
I'll send out a press release for you, okay? No, seriously, that's an amazing story, or at least come talk to him. I'll do a video on him.
Absolutely.
But Sam, anything else you'd like to add? I mean, we covered a lot of ground. Do you want to end on kind of a few words to say how you'd sum up the future of your industry? We talked about, your clients and your customers and how much they mean to you and your involvement in the community too.
Yeah, we're super involved in the community because we really, we've done, and that's not just this generation, myself. I mean, that's really it's sort of in our DNA as a family over many generations, is to continue to give back to all the markets that we serve and making sure that people and organizations are taken care of, and with that, it's the organizations that we support and we're very fond of, So that's really, it's a nice thing that I think that we do, not only just Gault, but like a lot of the other companies in our industry that actually service our area as well. So, but I think when I look at the industry, I mean, it is definitely, it's an exciting industry. There's just a lot of satisfaction that we get, I think, as a team every day, taking care of people, keeping them cool in the summer, keeping them warm in the winter, making sure that we're providing fuel and services to them. I think that it's a good feeling that, to be working in this industry. It's an exciting industry. I think the industry is somewhat in, a little bit of transition because, industries transition, they also evolve. I think we're sort of at that point, and a lot of that has to do with a cleaner fuel and fighting some of the utility stuff that we're dealing. So that's, we're a little bit in evolving through that. And I think we'll come out the other end and we'll be even a stronger industry going forward.
Yeah. In a few words, how would you describe the future then? Right.
Yeah. I'd say, we're a little bit of transition right now, and we're what we've done in the past too. I mean, listen, we evolved from coal to heating oil, right? We evolved from heating oil to bioheat. Okay, we're now continuing to evolve, and that could be where, where some of the really good companies out there are also, now that we continue to sell bioheat, but we also go into more home services, right? And that's part of the evolution of what what we should be doing as companies.
Excellent. Sam, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day here in Newport. I mean, it's such a beautiful place. Hopefully you get out there and take in some of the sights later. I have to say I love Newport. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for your insight, your wisdom, and everything that you do. And keep in touch, okay?
Okay, thank you so
All right.
much. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Sam.
it. All right.
And thank you for listening to Mission Possible. Be sure to tune in next time to hear more stories on how our members are making a difference. We'll see you then.